Christmas has come and gone. We sat up on Christmas Eve waiting for Santa Claus to come on the 25th, hoping that he would give us what we asked for this year. Oh, I can remember back just a few days ago, me looking under the Christmas tree, not seeing anything and anticipating Santa Claus coming. I looked up in the night sky and I was hoping to see Santa fly across the sky in the night with Rudolph leading the way, hoping that he would deliver the one thing that I've wanted all holiday season. And I sat there and I looked out the window and I said to Santa, Santa, all I want for Christmas is for Monday Night Raw to set a new record low, a new ratings low. For the 6th time this year, Monday Night Raw will have suffered the worst ratings of all time in a near 26-year history that the show has been on the air. This is what I want, Santa Claus. Please don't let me down. I've been a good boy this year. Santa delivered, folks. Santa delivered. I didn't need to put out cookies. I didn't need to put out milk. All we needed to see was another terrible tragedy that is Monday Night Raw on the USA Network, and lo and behold, Monday Night Raw suffered the 6th lowest, or better yet, I don't know if, I think it was the lowest rating of all time, but they set a new record for the lowest ratings in one calendar year. They beat their own record 6 times. 6 times. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's all I wanted for Christmas this year. And McMahon Claus delivered. And when I read the news, when I heard the news, it put a huge smile on my face. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, but I want to talk about the one intriguing thing that actually happened this week, and that was AJ Styles. AJ Styles, at the end of Smackdown Live, viciously attacked Vince McMahon. And nobody knows why. It was definitely a segment that was added in post-edit to later air at the end of that show. I'm not sure if it was filmed in the arena when this show was being taped, or if this was filmed at the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. I am not sure about any of that. But what we seen at the end of SmackDown Live not only was bizarre, but it actually perked up everybody's eyes and ears. This could be leading to AJ Styles having a major WrestleMania program in April, New Jersey, WrestleMania 35. That was my first guess. My first logical guess as to what is going on here. But there is a possible reason why AJ Styles attacked Vince McMahon on SmackDown Live. Now, before I get into what the reports are saying, I went back and forth with a few people talking about the ideas that I had that AJ could possibly be doing at WrestleMania, or where this is leading for AJ Styles. The one thing that I came up with, and I want to immediately let everybody down easily here, because this was the one thing that people came to me with, and this is not happening. And I don't want to talk about him for WrestleMania, because every time we talk about him for WrestleMania, there's always some other issue that arises with Dwayne Johnson. People were telling me, JD, go back and watch this segment with Vince McMahon and AJ Styles. Vince McMahon and AJ Styles were standing there, and in the background was a picture of Dwayne Johnson. Could they be foreshadowing an AJ Styles versus The Rock match at WrestleMania? The answer is no. The answer is no. Now, The Rock was rumored to go one-on-one with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Clearly, that is not happening, and thank Christ that is not happening. That would be absolutely atrocious. Nauseating. Just god-awful. And if Rock is coming back for WrestleMania, the only other person that I would want to see him against, actually 2 other people that I would want to see him go up against, one continues the storyline that they even started a couple of years back, and the other is just something that I want to see because it's something of, I would say, a dream match, especially now that they're a lot older. You take the 2002 SummerSlam main event with The Rock and Brock Lesnar and how great that match was. I would love to see that reimagined in 2019. So I would love to see The Rock versus Brock Lesnar now in 2019 and see how it stands up to what they did in 2002. Because that was one of my, if not one of my favorite SummerSlams of all time. Probably my favorite SummerSlam of all time. But the only other person I would want to see The Rock go up against is Triple H. And I don't think that's happening, and I don't really care for it now with Triple H getting hurt at Crown Jewel and The Rock getting a little bit older. You know, I'm done seeing Triple H and his obligatory WrestleMania match. The Rock versus Brock Lesnar I could deal with, as long as there's no championships on the line and it's just a marquee, big, star-studded affair at WrestleMania, because that's the only logical thing that they could do with The Rock. It's a big enough match for WrestleMania. Let's do it. If it's even possible. But The Rock versus AJ Styles is not happening, and a lot of people were saying, well, look at the foreshadowing going on in this segment. They got a picture of The Rock, you know, in the same screenshot with AJ Styles. Is that WWE trying to tell us something? No. The answer is no. The other thing that I thought of was maybe this is just WWE trying to keep AJ Styles at the forefront of their program on Smackdown Live on Tuesday nights. Because most of the time with this company, when someone is a champion for so long, like AJ Styles was, they lose the championship and then they kind of get lost in the shuffle. Maybe this is WWE's way of taking the title off AJ Styles, transitioning that title to Daniel Bryan, and instead of just AJ Styles floating around, having the same old match with Daniel Bryan, even though I wouldn't mind seeing it because the last time that they were in the ring was fantastic at TLC, I don't think AJ Styles dropping the title to Daniel Bryan and then having the same match over and over again is going to do anything, because the way that they're booking Daniel Bryan shows you that they're not taking the title off of Daniel Bryan. So you can't really put AJ Styles in a match with Daniel Bryan if the outcome is going to be the same. Right? He would have to eventually win the title back. Maybe this is just WWE's way of putting AJ Styles in a major program with Vince to kind of rile him up, get that ferocity to come on out, see a little bit more of a brutal, vicious, vile AJ Styles, which is a nice twist on the goody two-shoes AJ Styles that we usually see. I'd love to see a darker side, a more aggressive side of AJ Styles come out. Maybe this is them just keeping him at the top of the priority list on SmackDown Live, so we get a different version of AJ Styles to go up against Daniel Bryan when it eventually happens again. Maybe at the Royal Rumble. I don't know. Daniel Bryan changed his entire attitude. He can't have the same AJ Styles going into another match with Daniel Bryan, the same old AJ Styles. If Daniel Bryan has transformed himself into this evil, psychotic vegan who wants to blame everybody for the world's downfall, you can't have goody two-shoes AJ Styles go in there after he lost to Daniel Bryan at TLC. It's not going to work. And Vince McMahon even said, you got AJ Styles running SmackDown Live like it's his show. Where's AJ Styles? Where is the man who says, this is the house that AJ Styles built? Then why the fuck do you have Daniel Bryan running around? Doing whatever he wants with the WWE title. Where is the guy that I envisioned on this show? So it could be WWE prioritizing AJ Styles at the top of their list for SmackDown Live. Not the WWE champion, but keeping him in everybody's eyesight and earshot. They don't want AJ Styles to fade away like many WWE champions do, because he's too good to just have floating around in the middle of the card doing nothing. AJ Styles is of great value to you, and WWE might be positioning AJ Styles in that way. That's one thing that I thought of. The other thing that I thought of is going back to the rumors that we've heard with AJ Styles being wanted by Vince McMahon specifically on Monday Night Raw. Now, one idea that I had floating around in my head was, well, if all the rumors about AJ wanting, or Vince rather, wanting AJ on Raw and AJ moving to Monday nights after WrestleMania, WWE, with this angle that they shot on Tuesday night, could maybe be setting up AJ Styles to go into the Royal Rumble Move away from Daniel Bryan, but keep him high on the priority list. Give this new AJ Styles a new lease on life, right? We got the new Daniel Bryan. We got the new AJ Styles. He attacked Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon loved the viciousness that AJ showed in that one segment by punching him down to the ground. Maybe this new AJ Styles goes into the Royal Rumble and wins the Royal Rumble. And being that we didn't get Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles at Survivor Series, champion versus champion, maybe we do get it at WrestleMania. Maybe AJ goes into the Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, challenges Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, wins the Universal Championship, and is now on Monday Night Raw, the A Show, Vince McMahon's show. Vince wants someone who is going to be vicious and vile and brutal enough to take on Brock Lesnar, and maybe he sees that in AJ. Maybe he sees the dark soul, the dark heart that resides deep within AJ Styles. Maybe AJ doesn't even know it's there, but Vince sees it. Maybe he is the handpicked one by Vince to go into WrestleMania and beat Brock Lesnar and be the guy that Vince wants him to be on Monday Night Raw. The rumors were going around after the match with AJ and Brock was canceled, and they went with Bryan instead. There was a lot of reports saying that AJ's going to fight Lesnar at WrestleMania. Maybe this could be that. I don't know. And you know what? I wouldn't mind that at all. To me, the match that they had in 2017, that was a WrestleMania caliber match for AJ and for Brock. That was the best Brock Lesnar match we've seen since his return. Really. And I would not mind seeing that again at WrestleMania. So if they were able to put on a great match at Survivor Series in 2017, Bryan was able to do it with Brock in 2018, I would love to see AJ take another shot at it, redeem himself, get his win back, and win the Universal Championship on WrestleMania's big stage and go to Monday Night Raw. And you really got to think about it. It really does make sense. Roman Reigns ain't coming back anytime soon. WWE doesn't have a number one guy. There were reports about Seth Rollins not being the number one guy. That was coming straight from WWE officials. They don't see Seth Rollins to be the star that they envisioned him to be. Maybe they're going to position AJ Styles as that guy on Monday Night Raw. It all makes sense. The stars seem to be aligning correctly for that to happen with everything that's been reported, and maybe with this segment that was filmed for Smackdown Live. I don't know. But again, I have to reiterate, I would not mind that at all happening at WrestleMania. Because if you look at it, right, Rollins is going to need a lot of work with the downfall that he suffered throughout the rest of this year. He was as hot as anybody in May and June. WWE should have struck with Seth Rollins while the iron was hot with Rollins and Lesnar at SummerSlam, but they decided to say, fuck that, we're going to go with Roman Reigns. Nobody wanted that. Everybody wanted Rollins. Rollins played a backup player to Roman Reigns for the majority of the second half of this year. You're going to have to do a lot of work to get people to believe in Seth Rollins again, especially with this Dean Ambrose feud that's failing miserably. I don't know if Seth Rollins is going to have a good showing in the Royal Rumble. Maybe he will. I don't know. But if Rollins ends up winning the Royal Rumble, that could be a way to start building him back up to go against Lesnar. But then it's going to come down to who you rather want, Rollins or AJ Styles. I think the majority of the people would love to see AJ Styles in that role if given the opportunity to choose one or the other. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But the rumors of AJ being the face of Monday Night Raw in the absence of Roman Reigns does sound a little bit better. And you have to think ahead. If WWE is going to make a play for Kenny Omega, you gotta think this through. You gotta put all the variables on the table. If WWE is going to put an offer out there for Kenny Omega after he drops, what I'm assuming will happen, drops the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on January 4th, his contract's up by January 31st. Is WWE setting up AJ to come to Raw, sign Kenny, and make that the major program on Monday Night Raw for the Universal Championship? I may be shooting a ton of smoke out of my ass. I may simply be fantasy booking. I may be wishing upon a fucking shooting star on that one. But you gotta put the variables on the table. If WWE is going to make an offer, a multi-million-dollar offer to Kenny Omega, you're gonna bring him in with no fucking plans? If you're gonna make a multi-million-dollar offer to Kenny Omega, who the fuck is the first person you're gonna put him up against? It's either Rollins or AJ Styles. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And out of the two, who do you want? AJ sounds like a damn good option to me. You got to put the variables on the table. That could be another reason why AJ could win the Royal Rumble, beat Lesnar, be the face of Raw, bring in Omega. You want fucking change for Monday Night Raw? My goodness. My goodness. That don't feel like Monday Night Raw anymore. We'll see what happens. The other thing that I'm thinking of is maybe this is a way for WWE to build up a new AJ Styles because they plan on feuding him with Lars Sullivan. Now, obviously, I don't think this is going to happen, and there's more negatives to that one than there are positives. But Vince McMahon could be bringing in Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan could be a Vince McMahon guy, right? He's got everything to be a Vince McMahon guy. I could see Sullivan being a hand-chosen Vince McMahon guy. Per storyline, I could see them do shit with McMahon and Lars Sullivan on SmackDown Live. Maybe they're setting up AJ Styles to take on Lars Sullivan. But then again, like I said, there's more negative to positive than, there's more negatives to that than there are positives, because why would you feud Sullivan with AJ Styles? That's not going to really work out well in the end for him unless AJ is going to do the job for Sullivan, right? Really can't even talk about Lars Sullivan taking a loss if you're going to put him in a major program like that. The other thing with Lars Sullivan is, how many main events has the guy been in? Not many. He's been in one, actually, if you want to count the ladder match, which he excelled at, but that was 5 other guys as well, making him look good. Take over New Orleans. So I'm not really going to count that. As far as Lars Sullivan goes, his body of work as Lars Sullivan, how many main events has he been in that you could really say, well, that was a damn good main event. I'd love to see Lars Sullivan again in that type of role. 1, right? Against Aleister Black. And that really didn't work out as well as everybody wanted it to. There was a botch here, a botch there. People really didn't get behind Lars Sullivan as that type of guy yet. That was more of a trial and error situation, putting him against Aleister Black, while the NXT Championship took a backseat to whatever Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were doing. So that really didn't work out all too well for Lars Sullivan. So putting him in a main event program with AJ Styles right off the bat might not be so good for Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan's the type of guy, if you're going to put him on SmackDown Live, have him work through and work with some of the smaller guys on that show. Get him some guys like Mustafa Ali and Rey Mysterio and some of the smaller guys there, R-Truth, to work through. And then eventually slowly build him up to a point where people could start believing in Lars Sullivan. Who could stop this guy? You can't immediately put him against AJ Styles with fans not knowing who he is based on his track record, which is nothing as far as main events go. So I think that is the least likely of the situations. But I think I very well make a good case for AJ winning the Royal Rumble here and going on to challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, winning, becoming the face of Raw. And like I said, the variables are there. If WWE wants to make a play for Kenny Omega, which you know they will, it all seems to line up as something that could feasibly happen. But there is a possible reason why AJ Styles attacked Vince McMahon on SmackDown Live. Wade Keller noted on the PW Torch SmackDown Live recap that this interaction could be a sign that Styles is on his way to the next level in WWE. Wade Keller says, and I quote, "I guess Vince is trying to bring out a more aggressive version of AJ Styles and give him a bit of the McMahon rub. We'll see where this goes. I guess Vince thinks he can have kind of this Midas touch getting AJ to the next level because AJ has been too nice lately. This is just another ruthless aggression speech from 15 years ago." And I mentioned this on the SmackDown Live podcast. Having Vince McMahon cut a ruthless aggression era or an attitude era like promo with AJ Styles, being that he's 73, 74 years old, it didn't really resonate the way that it did back in the day because Vince McMahon's a lot older. You look at him, he looks like a fucking walking corpse. So it didn't really have the same impact as a younger Vince McMahon doing that. So the whole thing just seemed a little bit bizarre. Keller went on to further note that McMahon has always been weird, and it's not hard to argue with that. The man is just bizarre. He has a different sense of humor compared to everybody else, and the man just downright is weird. At this stage of his career, Vince McMahon is leading the charge for a new era. Apparently, AJ Styles could be the recipient of having a new lease on his character as well. A new AJ Styles for a new era led by Vince McMahon in 2019. I want you guys to think about that Brock Lesnar situation for AJ Styles, winning the Royal Rumble, winning the Universal Championship, and beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35. I think that is the best case scenario here. Because we all know that AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, this could set up, like I mentioned before, this could set up a new aggressive AJ versus the new Daniel Bryan. But I don't think AJ is going to win the WWE Championship. I don't think the WWE is going to take the title of Daniel Bryan right now, when a lot of people are talking about the body of work that Daniel Bryan is doing right now as a heel. It's just too good to make a transitional champion out of. You can't do it. Daniel Bryan is going to hold the WWE Championship until WrestleMania. Until WrestleMania. And that is the right decision to do. So AJ's not winning the WWE Championship. I would rather him be in the Royal Rumble. And again, it lines up. Daniel Bryan attacked Mustafa Ali on Smackdown Live in a segment with Shelton Benjamin. WWE could be... And listen, Mustafa Ali has a win over Daniel Bryan via a tag team match with AJ Styles. So WWE could easily get away with Daniel Bryan defending the WWE title against Mustafa Ali at the Royal Rumble on the undercard, because that is the perfect event to do it. You're not watching the Royal Rumble for a Daniel Bryan WWE Championship match. That is a great opportunity to get someone in a major pay-per-view role against one of the best workers in the world, and Mustafa Ali gets a nice rub being at the Royal Rumble, getting a WWE Championship match coming off of 205 Live. And you're not watching, like I said, the Royal Rumble for a Daniel Bryan WWE Championship match. The Royal Rumble is billed for the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. That is why we're watching. We're watching who is going to be set up as the next in line for the World Championships of their choosing going into WrestleMania. WWE could get away with a match like that at the Royal Rumble. Perfect situation. And if it's a match between Daniel Bryan and Mustafa Ali, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that. Because we were given a cock tease on SmackDown Live. You give those guys another 10, 15 minutes at the Royal Rumble on a major pay-per-view, that is something that could steal the show. And it's not necessarily being billed as a match that's going to steal the show, because it's on the undercard. Instead of giving me another AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan match, which I know is going to be predictable, why don't you give me a predictable match with a fresh face that could get over with the crowd in Phoenix in front of 60,000 people? I like that a little bit better. AJ in the Royal Rumble is the better idea for WWE at this point. Give Mustafa Ali a throwaway title match. Get him a rub. Get him in front of new eyes and new faces. And we're off to the running. You want to talk about a new era? There you go. I think everything here that I mentioned makes total sense. So WWE really needs to sit down and start thinking about what they have to do to give us the best product possible. So if they go with that, I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. This is Off the Script, episode 254. This is part number 1. This is the last Off the Script for 2018. We got a lot to go over, including AJ dealing with a serious illness. Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw makes last-minute changes again, even though he came out and said that this is going to be a new era. Monday Night Raw hit a new record ratings low for a 6th time this year, and everything coming out of the WWE event at Madison Square Garden. Will WWE show up at Madison Square Garden again in 2019, or was that its last time in that venue for a very long time? We're going to go over all that today, right here on episode 254. This is part number 1 of Off the Script. off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE's great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Okada. Delete. What is it, Vince? Can I suck your dick? What is it, Vince?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com. This
is off the script. The last off the script of 2018, man. It's been a wild ride all year. We did All In. We did Extreme Rules, and I'm going to be looking forward to doing more events in 2019. The biggest thing and the best thing that happened to me all year was the fact that I finally hit 100,000 subscribers on October 31st, 2018. And here we sit at the end of December, and we are almost at 104,000 subscribers, man. So it's an unreal ride. I'm looking forward to working even harder in 2019, making the show look and sound better in 2019, taking my career to the next level in 2019, taking my work with House of Glory and expanding on that even more so in 2019. And I hope that I continue to bring you guys the best in wrestling content and wrestling podcasting here in 2019, man. Without you guys, I am absolutely nothing. And I appreciate everybody's support, whether you guys are a patron, whether you guys show up for every video, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, off the script, and simply leave a like, listening to what I have to say regarding what we all love most, and that is professional wrestling. Thank you guys so much for everything, man, and I'm going to work even harder in 2019 for all of you. I can promise you all that. This is episode 254. This is part #1 to close out the 2018 calendar year. We're going to go over everything today coming out of Monday Night Raw and what happened at the MSG show on December 26th. Vince McMahon made a very special appearance, and there was a huge NXT 10-man tag team match, which I want to kind of talk about a little bit as well, being that Vince McMahon was in the same building while that match was actually going on. Very interesting to see top of the food chain, NXT, the guys at the top of the NXT food chain at Madison Square Garden doing their thing with the boss, the big boss, sitting gorilla. So it's an interesting aspect to say the least, man. We're going to go over all that today right here on Off the Script. Follow me on social media. Got to thank Salrex for this beautiful new design, man. What's up, Salrex? JD from NY206 on Twitter. Make sure you guys go and follow me there. It is the #1 place to follow me on Twitter if you guys want my thoughts on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and any pay-per-views happening monthly. It's also a great way to be notified of when I upload podcasts, like this particular one, Off the Script, every single week. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, and anything else that I do gaming-related, it immediately gets pushed to Twitter, man. So not only can you find out what I'm thinking in real time while these events are happening, it's also a great backup so that you guys are notified of when I either upload or go live on Twitch or on YouTube, man. Follow me on Twitch, JD from New York. I'm on there a couple times a week. We love playing some Call of Duty, sweating with some of those guys on there. Twitch, Instagram as well, JD from NY206. And if you guys want to support the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. It's optional, completely optional. It's the only way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you turn on the bell so that you're notified of all incoming uploads. If you guys enjoy what you see here, hit that thumbs up. It's a great way to support the show for doing basically nothing, and it helps out the show and the channel in YouTube's algorithm and analytics, man. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Got to shout out Harry's, man. Harry's is the official sponsor of Off the Script. They ran a great Christmas deal that is now no longer available, but you guys still have access to Harry's and their free trial by using our unique link, harrys.com/script. You're going to get a free trial shave set. What is included in this trial set is the following. You guys are going to get a choice of 3 different colors for your razor handle. You got the navy blue, you got the orange, and you got the evergreen. You're going to get one finely created razor blade by one of Harry's 600 scientists and people who they've brought on who specialize in steel. So they created this blade, which is the smoothest shave you will ever have, man. I'm telling you right now. You're going to get a razor blade. You're going to get a generous 2-ounce bottle of their foaming shave gel, which soothes, hydrates, and it smells fantastic. And you're going to get a travel case to protect your blade if you guys love traveling or if you guys just want to display it in your medicine cabinet. It's a great way to keep the blade safe. You're going to get a protective case as well for that. All that for free, man. harrys.com/script. You're going to go to the unique link that we provide you here. You're going to pay the shipping and handling, and you guys are going to get Harry's for absolutely as little as $2 or $3 at most. All you guys got to pay is the shipping and handling. I've been using it for over a year now. Found out about it, like you guys know, and I mentioned several times, through my brother Frank and my father. They both use Harry's products. I've turned Harry's products onto pretty much everybody that I know, and they all say the same thing. This is a damn good product, man. And honestly, I am very picky with what I do and the stuff that I use. And I would never put my name to something that I don't believe in. And more importantly, I would never put my name to anything that I don't personally use. And if I feel like it's good enough for me, it's definitely good enough for you guys. harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys go and get your free trial today. If you guys want to support the podcast by wearing one of my t-shirts, man, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go visit our online store, exclusively sold on Barbershop Window. Use code BSHOP10 for 10% off your entire order, every single order, man. You guys have access to not only what you see there, but this bad boy, the 100,000 subscriber commemorative t-shirt, which is absolutely beautiful. Go and get that today. You can't get it anywhere but Barbershop Window, man. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I will be shouting out everybody who purchased a t-shirt for the month of December on Sunday's episode of Off the Script. What I want to do is shout out my patrons, man. You guys blew up Patreon this week, and I want to shout out Ryan Cook, who pledged $5, King Daddy Dev, who pledged $5, Jacob Robinson, who pledged $5, Stefan, who pledged $5. We had a $27 pledge by Thai Psychopath Drew, Mick Thailand. I don't know who you are, bro, but thank you so much. That's the weirdest name I think I have on the list of patrons here for 2018. And just coming through, man, Paul Ham with a $5 pledge and Rodney Baldwin with a $5 pledge, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support on patreon.com/JD from NY206. Let's get into the news, man. I know you want my thoughts on the Monday Night Raw ratings. Monday Night Raw hit a new record low for a 6th time this year. Sal Rex, you better get to work, bro. It's going to be 7 next week. 7 times in a calendar year in which Monday Night Raw has broke their own record for the lowest ratings in a 26-year history of Monday Night Raw. As expected. Okay, I am no blithering idiot. Yes, I know it was Christmas Eve. People nowadays tend to care more about Christmas Eve than they do Christmas Day, right? Because they're waiting for Santa. You're spending time with the family as soon as midnight hits. People are exchanging gifts. And then Christmas, if you're one of the younger listeners of Off the Script, you're waiting for Christmas morning. You're in bed tucked in bed by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You're waiting for Santa Claus to come. You wake up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You wake your parents up in the most annoying fucking way possible. You go downstairs. You run downstairs. You're opening up your gifts like a fucking Tasmanian devil lunatic, right? And then what happens during the day? Nothing happens during Christmas Day. Nothing's happening during Christmas night. Everybody's glad it's all over. Everybody's glad it's all over. So yes, I knew Monday was Christmas Eve. And we were celebrating the holidays with Raw and Smackdown happening on both Monday and Tuesday night. I am not using the Christmas excuse this year. Okay? For the fucking WWE apologists out there who want to cite, oh, well, it was Christmas Eve. Blow me. Blow me. Okay? I am not talking about Christmas Eve being the excuse for Monday Night Raw. There is a deep-rooted issue here. Change was supposed to be instituted. We've seen nothing as far as change goes. Okay? But the ratings I'm about to read to you is signaling a far bigger issue. Because where the rest of the fucking people go that aren't watching the show anymore. The number can be thrown out if you're a WWE apologist because it's Christmas Eve. They're going to give another pass to Monday Night Raw for the lack of fucking quality content because it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. You can't blame WWE. I can blame WWE on August fucking 24th. Why can't I blame them the same way on December 24th? Fucking idiots. The audience dropped 30% from the prior week. Okay? 30%. That's a hell of a lot of people. Now, I don't give a fuck if it's Christmas Eve, Valentine's Day Eve, Easter Eve, Thanksgiving Eve. I don't give a fuck what Eve it is. Okay? I don't care. If I'm a fan of something, I'm going to make sure I'm watching my favorite show. Simple as that. Simple as that. If I'm a big enough fan, shit, I watch Monday Night Raw and I was here working for you guys, right? I gave you the most entertaining show I possibly could with as little as nothing offered by Monday Night Raw. Didn't stop me from working. So why am I going to sit here and give you an excuse? Oh, it's Christmas Eve that Monday Night Raw didn't deliver a good ratings performance. Or they didn't deliver a good show. I don't give a fuck. This show is well beyond just words, saying you're going to change. This is so bad at this point that excuses are no longer welcome. Okay, this is 6 years. We're going on 6 years since Monday Night Raw has transformed itself from a 2 to 3 hour show. And in the 6 years, I can't even count on one fucking hand how many good Monday Night Raws there were. I can't even remember when the last good Monday Night Raw was. And now I'm supposed to use an excuse because it's Santa's day to deliver the kids gifts, and that's the reason why they're not watching Monday Night Raw. Now, there is good news, surprisingly, the word good being used in the same sentence as WWE Raw. The good news is the audience held better than any Raw in a long time, as the third hour actually beat the first hour. I don't know why. I guess everybody was done with their gift giving and their dinner and having a fucking nice cocktail to sit down and finally watch Monday Night Raw at 10:30. I don't know. All I know is that the show was headlined by Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins again. I don't know why I didn't even watch the fucking main event. I came right here at 10:30 to do the review. Why am I going to watch a Seth Rollins vs. Baron Corbin match when they were just in a TLC match just a couple of weeks ago? How much better could they do in the ring compared to that match? It's fucking stupid. The last time the third hour was higher than the first hour was on July 2nd, which was the only time that took place this year. Okay? That I'm going to blame, or that I'm going to attribute, rather, to the holiday. Normally, on a regular work week, the first hour is usually the hour that people tune in to see what the show is going to be about. They're not tuning in at the third hour. So I attribute this to being Christmas. People were dying down at the end of the night and turned on their TVs. At 8 o'clock, they were celebrating with friends and family. They were out. They're home by 10 o'clock, 10:30, and they decided to turn on the USA Network. That's the reason why the third hour was higher than the first hour. Now, the last time Raw aired on Christmas Eve was in 2012. Okay? They did 3.15 million viewers. So where the fuck did those other millions of viewers go since 2012? I don't fucking know. Where are they going? Now, the Denver Broncos versus the Oakland Raiders NFL game did 8.60 million viewers. That was down 34% from the prior week. So the Raw dropped was mirrored by the NFL. And I'm assuming, I don't watch the NFL. I mean, I don't know who the fuck is going to be interested in a Denver Broncos, Oakland Raiders NFL game. Okay? Now, I'm assuming that the playoff teams are set. So, if your team is not in the playoffs at this point, honestly, who the fuck is watching? If your team is dead and getting ready for a nice day of golf down in Florida, what the fuck is the point of watching the NFL game when it's absolutely meaningless to you? If the playoffs teams are set, people are getting ready for the first wild card game in January. So, yes, Christmas has to do with that, but also the game was probably absolutely worthless. Now, everything was down on cable greatly, and the major news shows that beat Raw, for the most part, didn't even run new episodes, and Raw ended up 4th place on cable behind NFL-related programming on ESPN. Now, the 8 p.m. hour drew 1.75 million viewers, the 9 p.m. hour drew 1.79 million viewers, and 10 p.m. drew 1.78 million viewers. So it was down from the second hour, but it beat the first hour. 1.75 in the first hour and up to a 1.78 in the third hour is something that I don't know why we're making a big deal out of. It's still down. It's still down. Christmas or not. Now, like I mentioned, all the WWE apologists out there and the people that like to dance around the fucking topic because they're afraid to tell you anything bad about WWE for the sake of who might be listening or who might be following them on social media. I don't care. I will tell you to your face, I sat down with Jordan Grace, right? I sat down with Impact Wrestling superstar Jordan Grace, and I got an alert on my phone that Vince McMahon was showing up on Monday Night Raw, right? And I showed Jason, the head guy of production at Hog, filming us for this Cutting Corners episode. I showed him and I started laughing. Right? What's my Christmas wish this year? That Monday Night Raw actually put on a fucking quality program. Ha 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 ha. Right in front of Jordan. I don't give a fuck who's in earshot, who's staring me in the face. I will tell you blatantly that Raw is garbage. Raw is garbage. I don't care who is in my vicinity of my voice when I say these things. So the fact that Raw is being excused to a certain degree for their Christmas Eve episode is inexcusable. It's a lazy fucking dance around the topic because I'm too afraid to touch it response. Now, WWE, correct me if I'm wrong, was live on Christmas Day last year. They did a live show. There were people, live human beings in that crowd on Christmas Day, okay? So, they did it last year. It dropped, ratings dropped from 1.95 to 1.69 last year. And this year, it dropped from 1.74 to 1.22 million people. If that is not a scary situation, Christmas or not, I don't know what to fucking tell you. And I'm going to go fucking further. I am going to go further thanks to my buddy Rusty, formerly of the 414. You guys know Rusty. He was one of my co-hosts for one day that made other people salty that I didn't choose them and I chose Rusty to cover for me when I was suffering from a really bad flu and I had like 102 fever and I couldn't do off the script because I couldn't talk. Right? He sent me this. In WCW's Nitro days, when Nitro was dying, in the last breath that Nitro had, and I'm going back to January and December of 2000, Nitro's rating on 12/4/2000 was 2.5. On December 11th, 2000, they drew a 1.7. On December 18th, they drew a 2.3. On Christmas Day that year, they didn't air. On New Year's Day, they didn't air. On 1/8/2001, 2.1. On 1/15/2001, 2.6. They had a Tuesday Nitro on 1/22. That drew a 2.1. 1/29, 2.6. February 5th, 2.3. February 12th, 2.1. February 19th, 2.0. February 26th, 2.1. March 5th, 2.1. March 12th, 2.1. March 19th, 2.1, and the final Nitro drew 3.0 on March 26th, 2001. Monday Night Raw compared to WCW Nitro in its last days during Christmas season of 2000 was blowing away Monday Night Raw during the same time frame 18 years ago. So don't tell me that Christmas Eve and Christmas Day is the excuse for Raw being in the shithole. WCW was giving you nauseating content during its last 3 months. Why were they drawing higher than Raw is now? Are these apologists going to tell me some lame excuse as to why that is? What's your answer? Yeah, but you're expecting change, right? I said it on Monday Night Raw. I said it during my review. If this company does not change the show in any way on that second week into January 2019, this show is absolutely doomed to fail, even more so going into next year. I don't want to hear any fucking excuses. Commentary needs to change. I don't know who the fuck could listen to this show backstage and think that Michael Cole and Renee Young do a good job. Renee Young is fucking awful at what she does. Okay? I'm gonna have some fucking idiot on social media, oh, JD hates women. No, I'm just someone who's watching WWE like I've been doing for the last 32 fucking years. You'd think I'd understand who's a good commentator and who's not a good commentator. Say the same thing about Byron Saxton. That guy's fucking terrible too. She needs to be gone. I don't give a fuck if she's female or not. You put the right people in the right positions. If you're best for the job, that's your role. They're filling an agenda. Corey Graves, the guy is great at what he does, but my God, is he becoming nauseating every single week more and more. Michael Cole, listen, I don't understand who the fuck reported Michael Cole was going away after 20 years as lead commentator on Monday Night Raw, but I'm waiting the fucking day when this guy announces his retirement. I'd rather see Vic Joseph on Monday Night Raw take the lead. At least we'd get someone with a fucking human reaction and a human voice that doesn't sound like a fucking robot. The logo needs to change, the theme music needs to change, the way you present superstars needs to change, add some fucking pyro. You're making $500 million from Saudi Arabia, you can't spend a couple $1,000 on some pyro? What happened to the Monday Night Raw episodes where they used to come in with the fucking streaming fireworks that blow up on the stage, giving you a big fucking fight feel for Monday night? Now you gotta hear Michael call, "Welcome to San Jose. This is the #1 weekly episodic TV show of all time. Blow me. Weekly episodic garbage." Then you start the show with a fucking, oh, here comes Vince McMahon. Oh, here comes Stephanie McMahon. I gotta hear her fucking banshee-like voice. Might as well put her on the top of a fucking building. Stephanie McMahon. Oh, here comes a promo segment for 20 minutes. Oh, here comes another guy. Oh, here comes another guy. Here's the main event, a big 8-man tag. How is that change? How? I don't understand the people who fell for this fucking garbage. You were played like a fucking fiddle. You were played like Joe Satriani plays a fucking guitar solo. You fucking clown. I don't believe you people. Enough is enough with the excuses. This show is well beyond excuses. Get him out of there. Vince needs to go. I don't care what you do. Drug him, poison him, lock him in a closet, hog tie him, get him away from Gorilla for one night. I guarantee you'll see change. Guarantee it. Why am I so lively when I talk about Monday Night Raw? Because this show possesses the best fucking talent. The company, never mind the show, possesses the greatest talent that they've ever had contracted. And this is the show you're giving me. Bobby Trashley. Bobby fucking Trashley. Seriously. The guy couldn't entertain and bring a smile out of my 94-year-old grandmother. This guy is on Monday Night Raw? This is the guy you're putting hopes into on Monday Night Raw. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, you expect change. Continue to hope for change. The only thing that's going to change is the fucking pair of underwear you put on Tuesday morning when you go to work. That's the only thing that's going to change. You expect Vince McMahon to change Monday Night Raw? Fuck out of here. Vince McMahon once again making last-minute changes to Monday Night Raw, even during a taped episode. Yeah, change, right? You expect quality of the show to change. But Vince McMahon, once again, the only change that he is instituting is what he doesn't like, and he changes it with something even more god-awful, coming from directly his mind. Vince McMahon makes, once again, a last-minute change to Monday Night Raw last week. Mike Johnson discussed on PW Insider Elite Audio and mentioned that this segment was something the company filmed last minute, meaning McMahon Claus. You know, the segment which he announced, oh, John Cena's coming back to Monday Night Raw and Smackdown Live. Wow, what a re-gifter Vince McMahon is. Wasn't that the same fucking case when John Cena was showing up on Raw and SmackDown to address The Undertaker? Nice re-gifter. Then he announces that we're getting a women's tag team title. Where's it going? Is it going to Raw? Is it going to SmackDown? Is there going to be two sets of titles? Is there going to be a rotation of women that we see with this title? Some from Raw, some from SmackDown, some from NXT. They put this segment in the show, and the commentators made no mention of it. None. Meaning Vince filmed this, he had put it in the fucking show, and then the announcers didn't have any recollection of what was in the show. So we get McMahon Claus giving us an announcement of a women's tag team title. That's laughable in itself. Yeah, such a big fucking moment for the division. Yeah, we'll have Vince McMahon dressed up as fucking Santa Claus announcing that there's going to be new titles in 2019. If that doesn't devalue the fucking titles right out of the gate, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Now, instead of having Trish and Lita come out and announce that there's going to be women's tag team titles or have some big ceremony in the ring, you know? I don't understand that. And people willingly bend over and take it up the ass from this guy. How could anyone be okay with that announcement? First of all, there shouldn't even be women's tag team titles because you can't even book the fucking talent you got in the men's tag team division right. And I don't know who the fuck wants to see Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Riot Squad every fucking week. How many tag teams do you have on Monday Night Raw? Yeah, I can't wait for people to say, man, this is great. Meanwhile, you get to see Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox team up for the tag team titles. You people fucking sicken me. Absolutely sicken me. So the commentators didn't even know that this was a last-minute addition. What a great way. Announce a new title coming to the company, and the announcers don't even know it's in the broadcast and can't even make it sound important. This would explain why there's no mentions by Graves or Cole about the new women's tag team titles. Vince has been very hands-on lately, making several changes to the recent decline in ratings. It will be interesting to see what other changes he makes heading into WrestleMania season. The only thing Vince is going to change is the color of his fucking tie and the color of his suit on a week-to-week basis. If you think that this man, the McMahons are taking over Monday Night Raw, who the fuck was in charge for the last 6 years? I don't know. Was it Humpty Dumpty? Was it one of Santa's master elves? Was it Mrs. Claus? Who the fuck was it? It's like they got a revolving GM every fucking season. One season it's the Easter Bunny. One season it's fucking Cupid with his bow and arrow. Shoot a fucking bow and arrow right between Vince McMahon's fucking eyes. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, the power is in the people now. Hand me the fucking pen. Hand me a pen and paper. Jesus Christ, I got no more fucking water. Look at this shit. Oh my God. Anyway, man. Sweating my balls off in here. Vince McMahon, speaking of which, let's keep this fucking old goon coming with the consistent news. Vince McMahon makes a special appearance. By the way, I keep going to my hat because I'm fucking sweating. The more I sweat, the more my hair falls on my face and I gotta fucking push it away from the inner lining of my hat. I had some fucking idiot email me telling me, I'm not watching, actually, I'm not watching the show anymore because of how many times you fix your baseball cap. It's fucking annoying, man. Instantly blocked on my email. This is why you don't watch the show anymore, because I get so riled up and I fix my hat a little bit too often. Oh, I'm sorry. Right, what about the baseball hitter that fucking steps into the batter's box and takes fucking his time getting in the batter's box? He's doing what he's got to do, right? He gets himself comfortable, and before the pitcher throws something, he takes a step out of the batter's box and gets right back in. The umpire's getting all pissed off, right? What happened? Right, you're gonna blame this guy? Guy's batting .390. He's got 40 home runs, 160 RBIs. Right? You're gonna fucking blame him for what he does? Listen, asshole. I don't give a fuck if I fix my bill, fix my pants, fucking adjust my cock during the middle of this show. Okay? I'll do what I want. Why? Because you're gonna watch me anyway. You're gonna watch me anyway. Who are you gonna go watch? You're gonna watch some goody two-shoes who gives Raw excuses every week? Oh, Raw was good, but it was taped. Oh, but Raw's gonna get better. Vince McMahon makes a special appearance at Madison Square Garden. WWE's in a new era. Yeah, we're in a new era, folks. Vince McMahon's making constant changes to Monday Night Raw. Same old song and dance with these fucking people. New era, right? One new era. That means Vince McMahon promised new matchups, new superstars, more opportunities. We're also going to see more fun on the show. And we're going to see more of Vince McMahon. Vince followed through with his word by popping up at the recent WWE live event in Madison Square Garden. My God, everybody that went to the show, man, you go to these house shows to get away from Vince McMahon, and there he is. There he is. I guess he had to show himself one more fucking time before Vince McMahon, or before Madison Square Garden, rather, boots him the fuck out of there. This was not an advertised appearance, although he would have likely been there anyway in some capacity backstage. Vince McMahon showed up as Corbin was trying to get another forfeit against Braun Strowman. Then McMahon announced John Cena would be facing Corbin instead. The place popped, as you would expect them to, because they're all fucking puppets on the strings, and Vince McMahon's the fucking puppet master, right? This guy should have been booed out of the building. Yet you're there cheering the guy, right? So, not only did they get to see John Cena, which they already expected, but they got an eyeful of Vince McMahon as well at Madison Square Garden. Now, the one thing that I am genuinely interested in, there was a huge 10-man NXT tag team match on that show. And it featured Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole and Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle and a bunch of others. Maybe Johnny Gargano was in there, you know, Ricochet, etc., etc. You guys know the top-of-the-line guys on NXT. So Vince McMahon was there. And NXT had this big showcase match. I don't know how long they got, but they had this big showcase match. The one thing I'm genuinely interested in is, well, Triple H mentioned that Vince McMahon doesn't even watch NXT. He certainly had to watch NXT that night. I hope he got a good look at Ciampa and Gargano and Ricochet and Adam Cole and Pete Dunne and Aleister Black and the Velveteen Dream and everybody else in the Matt Riddle and everybody else that was in that match. Get a good look. Get a good look. Matt Riddle got bro chants in Madison Square Garden. I seen live video of it, filmed from people who were there. That is your future, old man. Warm up to it. Get used to them. Those are the guys that we want to see on Monday Night Raw. Simple as that. So I'm very interested to know what Vince thought of everybody in that ring. Guarantee he took one look at Aleister Black. I want him on Raw. Wouldn't be surprised. That's what somebody with a functioning brain would do. WWE suffers. Madison Square Garden, very low attendance for the December 26th holiday show. Now, we all know Vince McMahon made a surprise appearance to introduce John Cena, and the women's division on that night made history. They were in the main event, which I'll talk about in a second. Now, the attendance, however, at Madison Square Garden was much less than usual for a WWE holiday show. The world's most famous arena can hold just about 20,000 people, but they only had 11,900 fans show up for the WWE house show. Now, Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that this wasn't a good turnout at all and the lowest in recent memory for WWE. Interestingly enough, WWE also neglected to let the fans know when they'll be coming back to MSG, which usually happens in the spring, right before WrestleMania. It happens again during, I believe, during their Heatwave tour and SummerSlam, and then they do the holiday show. It's usually about 3 or 4 times a year they go to Madison Square Garden. But they did not let fans know when they'll be coming back to MSG, which is very unlike them as well. Excuse me. Now, Meltzer mentioned that the things with the Garden, which is interesting, is that they didn't announce a return date. So I don't know what that means, but they always announce a return date for the Garden, and they did not. End quote. Now, it's likely that WWE will be playing Madison Square Garden again. However, you never know with the WWE. They have, Madison Square Garden has New Japan and Ring of Honor, and after everything that they've seen with the low attendance here, maybe WWE and Madison Square Garden could be on the outs as far as a relationship goes. You know, I can't imagine Madison Square Garden being too pleased with the fact that they've cozied up with the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, especially for SummerSlam for the last 4 years, and then they're going back there for TakeOver, WrestleMania weekend. So I don't know what's happening. But 2019 could be a very interesting year as the Barclays Center seems to be becoming WWE's favorite New York City arena, as the venue has hosted the last few larger New York-based WWE events. I don't know, man. I really don't know what's happening with that. That is a wait-and-see game, but I can't really give you an answer as to why. Suffering low attendance at Madison Square Garden, maybe it has to do with the fans genuinely not being interested in the fucking product. Why are you going to go there? The only reason why I would have went there was to see the 10-man tag, and then I would have bounced. That was it for NXT. That was the only reason for me to even contemplate going and getting tickets to that show. Other than that, you're going to see the same shit you see that you watch on Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw is not getting people to watch their program for the right reasons. People are walking away from the product. And why would you want to go in a major market to go watch what you don't want to watch on TV? It's fucking stupid. Now, if you're a regular visitor to these MSG shows, and it's kind of a tradition, then I understand. But why would you go and willingly sit there, even though this show was probably better than a regular edition of Monday Night Raw, why would you go there when you're just disenfranchised and disenchanted with the current product now? And you're only going to see the same shit in longer formats at MSG. Then you got to pay for a $14 beer. Then you got to pay for a fucking $12 hot dog. Nobody wants to do that. That's another thing. How much money did people have after the holiday season, immediately after Christmas Day, to go spend all that types of money on beer and food and take the kids out for a big thing? Maybe it was a Christmas gift, but how many Christmas gifts were given out this year to kids attending this Madison Square Garden show? It's an expensive outing for the family to go sit at Madison Square Garden for 3 hours, right? Tickets and then food for everybody and beverages for everybody and merchandise. That's a $700 fucking night. Easy. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever the reason is, low attendance. Can't really blame the low attendance. The product, it is reminiscent of what we're seeing with the ratings. Low ratings, low attendance. Same thing goes for Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live. They can barely even fill to capacity 50% of those arenas. Smackdown probably even less. And it all coincides with the low ratings. The WWE women make history at Madison Square Garden. Wow! They couldn't wait to finally give us the last first time ever in WWE to close out 2018. Now, while many fans are just waiting for the day that they turn her into a full heel, she certainly seems to be quite natural when discussing her rise to the top of professional wrestling. Judging by her reactions, she clearly has a passion for this, and judging by this shot alone, it seems like she's building friendships backstage as well in the WWE universe. And I'm talking about Ronda Rousey. Ronda is a controversial figure at the best of times, mainly due to her background in MMA. But nobody can deny that she's been able to produce in the ring since she's debuted at the Royal Rumble, has been probably worthy, no doubt about it, of a Rookie of the Year award for WWE in 2018. And she's getting better. And if you don't think she's getting better, you're a fucking blithering idiot. Ronda Rousey was able to defeat Nia Jax in the main event of this Madison Square Garden show, retaining her Raw Women's Championship in the process. Now, I don't know why they just didn't do Natty here. And I don't know why Nia Jax was given a main event spot at Madison Square Garden for them to claim first time ever for the women in WWE to main event a Madison Square Garden show. Nia Jax was part of a very controversial issue with Becky Lynch. So much so that she's garnered heat from everybody, garnered heat from SmackDown Live, garnered heat from people saying that she's reckless. I mean, you had people calling her a blithering idiot. Ember Moon's husband called Nia Jax an unsafe idiot. And you're giving this unsafe idiot a main event spot, pretty much giving her a thank you. You're giving that spot to Nia Jax instead of giving that spot to a deserving individual, like a Sasha Banks, or Bayley, or an Ember Moon, or a Ruby Riott, or a Natty. I'm not a big fan of Natty, but if you're going to put a fucking gun to my head and have me choose one or the other, who deserves it more, Nia or Natty, I'm going to go with Natty 10 times out of 10. So you pretty much awarded Nia Jax for her garbage in-ring ability to go against Ronda Rousey in the main event of a Madison Square Garden show so you could tout it was the first time ever and the women made history. I don't like that at all. I think that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Now, obviously, the next few months are going to be really important for Ronda Rousey. Rookie of the Year so far in 2018, most definitely. We're going to see and monitor that, how that transitions into 2019. Probably going to be at WrestleMania against Becky Lynch. Maybe going to be a triple threat match with Charlotte and Becky Lynch. I don't know. We have to wait and see what happens at the Royal Rumble. Either way, nobody can say that Ronda isn't, I guess, dedicated and driven to her job, because at every beck and call, Ronda Rousey has been there to do whatever she's asked to do. She's been in the ring with whoever WWE wants to put her in the ring with, and she's succeeded almost every single time. There's a few hiccups along the way, but she's succeeded and exceeded everybody's expectations more than anything. And for that, you got to respect her. You know, it's not easy to transition from MMA into a WWE ring. You know, I am neither. But it's not the same beast. And Ronda has, and Shayna Baszler as well. I can't leave out Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. I think Shayna's a little bit more further ahead than Ronda Rousey. But those two women have, you know, after Shayna being a year and a half removed from the Mae Young Classic, being green as grass, Ronda Rousey coming in with that WrestleMania match and seeing where she is now, you can't really doubt Ronda Rousey anymore. So for the people who are saying, oh, I hate Ronda Rousey, you hate her because she's a big name and she's been given an opportunity over everybody else. We all knew this. This is not news to anybody. She came in there to take the division to the next level. Is she doing that single-handedly? No, but she's a part of the reason why it's happening. Becky Lynch and Charlotte are being groomed and brought up. And together, it's going to be a collective effort to make this feel like an evolution. Can't really sit here and walk away from that. So Ronda deserves a lot of credit just for the fact that she's dedicated to her craft on getting better. And I was told that the match at Monday Night Raw with Natty and Ronda was actually called in the ring. They had no time to prepare for it. It didn't end up being a great match, but it wasn't sloppy. So if Ronda is calling matches with Natty, or I would say Natty called the majority of that match, and Ronda went along the way, following Natty. She had a very impressive performance if that was the fucking case. So how could you doubt this woman? Why would you doubt this woman? I don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of Ronda Rousey, WWE could be bracing themselves to lose Ronda Rousey already. The Wrestling Observer newsletter proposed that the WrestleMania main event could be Ronda versus Becky Lynch. That is my preferred main event. Obviously, WWE could include Charlotte Flair and make it a triple threat match. In fact, if WWE's goal is to have a great match in the WrestleMania main event, then inserting Flair into the situation gives that an even bigger chance of happening. It was said that putting both Flair and Lynch in the main event spot would create legends out of them. The two are looked at as lifers, meaning that WWE will likely be their home until they retire. However, Rousey is not looked at in the same way. Everyone knows Rousey is not a lifer, says Meltzer. Her life story is to do things for a cycle and then move on. Wrestling is in her current cycle. Her long-term goal and next cycle, which would be a short cycle like MMA and wrestling, we're always going to be there, is to start a family, and that's not a secret anymore. Therefore, no matter how much of a focus WWE gives Ronda Rousey or how many records she's able to break, it won't change her eventual destination of starting a family, and that's it. She's made mention of this as well on her YouTube channel. She's got a vlogging YouTube channel. She's made mention of this several times. Now, it's likely that Rousey will remain around WWE in some respect if she's able to leave the company on good terms. It's also noted that God only knows WWE will do everything to make that happen. WWE realizes this, and although Rousey might not be looking at her WWE exit anytime soon in the near future, everyone is certainly aware that they can't expect her to be around for an extremely long amount of time. I am not sitting here thinking of when Ronda Rousey's exit's going to be. That's foolish. Enjoy her for the time that you have her. And look at the progress that she's made individually, and look at the progress that the women's division has taken for the better, with Becky and Charlotte being involved with Ronda. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's only been good to come out of this. It's not all good. It's not all good. I'm a firm believer in building homegrown talent, but I understand why they gave Ronda Rousey the women's title. I would much rather see them not handcuff an entire division on Monday Night Raw by giving Ronda the only title that the women have to fight over. So that leaves out an Ember Moon, and Ruby Riott, and everybody else, Sasha and Bayley. That gives them nothing to do in the meantime. They're just biding their time until Ronda gets to WrestleMania with Becky and Charlotte. So in that aspect, I really don't like it. Ronda said it herself. She didn't need the women's championship. Roddy Piper was never a world champion, and look how great he turned out. But I don't think we should be sitting here contemplating on when Ronda's going to leave or when Ronda's ready to start a family, when she's going to walk away from WWE. Enjoy her for the time you have her now. Build who you need to build around Ronda, get her to a point where Ronda is now, and by the end of all this thing, when she does eventually walk away, you're going to have how many women built up in the same vein that Ronda Rousey is built up now? That is your goal. That is your goal. To bring everybody up to Ronda's level. Then she could walk away. And when she does walk away, the job will have been done. That is what they need to do. Don't worry about when Ronda's walking away. Enjoy her for the time you have her now. WWE's original plan for Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35 has been revealed. Now, we're going to get into that in a second, but my original plan was to let you guys know about Audible. That's what my original plan was before I talked about the topic of the next news story. Audible. They are also on top of Harry's, the official sponsor of the show, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys can go there. That is our unique link for Off the Script listeners only. Audible. Compatible with iPhone and Android devices. You guys can download the app for free. You could use our unique link to go through the sign-up process, and what you guys are going to get is 30 days free of Audible service. That's 1 month for free, and they're going to include a free audiobook of your choice. You have whatever you see there on the screen as an option for your free book. Plus, they have 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are sport and wrestling related. And if you guys don't like the service for any reason, you think Audible is not for you, you can cancel at any time within the 30 days, and you will not be billed, and you will keep your audiobook for free. audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys are new around here, take advantage of it. They've been with me for a very long time, almost 2 years now. Take advantage of it. If you're new, if you guys have already signed up, then don't listen to what I'm telling you. But if you have signed up already, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker, tell a classmate. Give the gift of Audible if you guys have already signed up. But if you guys are new and want to support the podcast, this is a great way to do it. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Let's continue on with the news stories, man. We got this Ronda Rousey news story. Original plans for Ronda at WrestleMania 35. It was in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Dave Meltzer confirmed that the story going around that we talked about last weekend on Part 3, Episode 253, the story that was going around claimed that WWE promised Charlotte Flair the WrestleMania main event. Now, anyone that knows how WWE works knows that Vince McMahon would never make a promise like that, and that is what Dave Meltzer went on to say. The story was not true. In fact, the original plan was not for Ronda Rousey to be in the main event, and it was Roman Reigns who was going to get the top billing on the show, but that changed when his leukemia diagnosis was announced. Now, this is common knowledge to anybody. If Roman Reigns was on television, WWE was going to try their best to get Roman and The Rock at WrestleMania. Foregone conclusion. We all knew that. But that is not the case here with Dave Meltzer. Now, listen to this. I don't believe any of this for a fucking second because A, this is god-awful, and B, WWE creative cannot be this lazy to give you what I'm about to read to you. Now, the belief is that Roman Reigns' opponent, if he was healthy and factored into Mania plans, would have been Dean Ambrose. The Ambrose heel turn would have probably been on Reigns and not Seth Rollins. I don't know about all that, but whatever the case may be. God-awful. That is not main eventing WrestleMania. I'm sorry. I don't think WWE could have done anything to bring Dean Ambrose to a level where he's main eventing WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. This is even more laughable. At one point, it was going to be Natalya versus Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship, but the idea to have Natalya's heel turn was scrapped when her father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, passed away. Then it was expected to be Rousey versus Flair, and that changed when Becky Lynch did what she did, got super hot, and then the Survivor Series match between Lynch and Rousey had to be changed due to the incident with Nia Jax, the concussion, and the broken face. As of this week, Lynch versus Rousey is set for WrestleMania, but WWE has not decided if it will be the main event or that if Charlotte Flair will turn it into a triple threat match. We're going to find out what happens. As soon as the Royal Rumble is over, we're going to find out what happens with Charlotte and Becky Lynch. But downright laughable. Natalya in a WrestleMania match with Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. That was never going to happen ever. The only way that would happen is if you have some fucking 8-year-old clown playing WWE 2K19 and he books Ronda Rousey versus Natalya in his fantasy WrestleMania. That's the only day and the only time that would be happening. Natalya is not factoring into a women's main event or a Raw Women's Championship match against Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. Natalya is as boring as watching paint dry. Please. That is not WrestleMania worthy. WrestleMania comes, you give me a WrestleMania worthy match. Natalya is not a WrestleMania worthy athlete. I'm sorry. So, whatever Dave Meltzer is reporting here, I am deeming as bullshit. I don't believe it at all for a split second. Becky Lynch. Speaking of Becky Lynch, she wins the women's Wrestler of the Year, or actually, never mind Women's Wrestler of the Year. She wins Wrestler of the Year, period, for 2018. CBS Wrestler of the Year for 2018. Becky Lynch had an amazing 2018 in WWE, in which she emerged as one of the company's biggest stars. Lynch really got the backing of WWE when she turned heel at SummerSlam. This is, according to them, she never turned heel ever. I'm sorry. I'm always going to be in that little group of people. Becky Lynch never turned heel. Okay, so to say that she turned heel at SummerSlam was not the case, because I'm listening to the crowd reaction. In fact, it was Charlotte who turned heel when she took the title away from Becky. I don't know what people are watching or hearing, but that's what I seen. Now, she'd go on to have a great run on Smackdown Live as a women's champion before dropping the belt at Hell in a Cell to Asuka. Actually, no, I'm sorry, at TLC. I'm getting my events mixed up here. Before dropping it at TLC. Recently, CBS named Lynch their Wrestler of the Year for 2018. Lynch took to Twitter to react to this honor. This is what she had to say, and I quote, "Start of 2018, I couldn't even get on TV. You're never truly down, but you're never truly out of it as well. Stand up and fight. Keep swinging, even if you don't know what you're swinging for or at. If you're like me, you'll eventually slap a head that deserves it, and the whole world will notice." End quote. Becky Lynch also took home CBS's WWE Match of the Year award for her involvement in the Triple Threat match, TLC match, for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, and the best moment of the year in which she attacked Ronda Rousey on Monday Night Raw. Here is the full list of CBS Professional Wrestling Awards for 2018. I will tell you as we go along if I agree with them or not. Now, they generalize Becky Lynch as the Wrestler of the Year in all of WWE. I am going to have to disagree. Becky Lynch may be the best wrestler in WWE for the second half, but as a whole, for the entire 2018, no. My Wrestler of the Year is Johnny Gargano. Simple as that. If I was to give a female Wrestler of the Year, Becky Lynch has that honor, no question. But my Wrestler of the Year is Johnny Gargano. They go on to mention that New Japan Pro Wrestler of the Year to them is Kota Ibushi. I don't know how many guys agree with that or not, but that is who they chose there. Match of the Year, according to CBS, was Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada at Dominion this year. I'm going to have to disagree with that as well. My match of the year is Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano at TakeOver Philadelphia in January. WWE match of the year, they go on to mention Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Asuka at TLC. That is not my main roster match of the year. My main roster match of the year is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte at Evolution. That is my match of the year. And a close second, Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. That is my top 2 matches of the year for WWE. Tag Team of the Year, they mentioned the Usos. Negative. Tag Team of the Year goes to Undisputed Era. Rookie of the Year, Ronda Rousey. I 100% agree. Commentator of the Year, Mauro Ranallo. Comeback Wrestler of the Year, Daniel Bryan. I agree on all 3 of those awards. I agree with this one as well. Breakthrough Wrestler of the Year for 2018 is Buddy Murphy. 100% agree. Feud of the Year, I agree with. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Best pay-per-view of the year for the main roster. I am going to have to go with either Money in the Bank or not TLC. Money in the Bank or Hell in a Cell. TLC probably comes in at a close third for WWE main roster pay-per-view of the year. Best moments of the year. Shit, I don't know, man. They mentioned Becky Lynch attacking Ronda Rousey on Raw. I'm going to have to go with Tommaso Ciampa ripping up the fucking mat during their unsanctioned street fight during one of the takeovers this year, where he ripped up the mat and then he was handcuffed with handcuffs tied behind his back, and Johnny Gargano ended up losing to a handcuffed Tommaso Ciampa as he DDT'd Gargano on the wooden pallets of the ring. That's my moment of the year right there. Best promo of the year. I don't really recall any real good promo standing out. I mean, everybody's talking about Daniel Bryan's promo before TLC, where he made fun of Mike Rome and Kathy Kelly. Probably go with that. That's what they mentioned here. And worst angle of the year. They mentioned D-Generation X versus the Brothers of Destruction, man. I would have to disagree wholeheartedly on that. The worst angle of the year was Bobby Trashley and Sami Zayn. Bobby Trashley and Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw. Worst angle of the year right there. Maybe if I have some time this weekend, I will get together my top 10 matches of 2018 for you guys on Off the Script. Moving on here, man. WWE could be trying out a new match rule for 2019. At the MSG show, there was a battle royal. And the winner of this battle royal would earn a future IC title shot. Now, the battle royal was interesting because eliminations could happen by somebody being thrown over the top rope or having a pinfall occur in the match. Now, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that this match stipulation is also firmly rooted in pro wrestling history. He says, and I quote, does Meltzer, "It was notable that this was a pinfall and over-the-top rope elimination battle royal like the original California and Hawaii battle royals of the 60s and 70s, end quote. Now, I know Lucha Underground does that for their Aztec Warfare battle royals. And I love that aspect. It's all over the ring. Pinfalls can happen anywhere. I like that. For a regular battle royal, I actually like that ruling a lot. And it adds a new dynamic because WWE does battle royals so often during the calendar year that they lose their appeal. Like, it's just another fucking match. Like, you got a men's Royal Rumble, and then you got a women's Royal Rumble. You got a battle royal for the men, and you got a battle royal for the women at WrestleMania, because they got to get everybody on the fucking card, because it's WrestleMania. It's 4 battle royals in a span of 4 months. It's overkill. How to change that up? Have the regular battle royals, not the Royal Rumble, the regular battle royals, be contested with over-the-top rope and pinfall rules. Because when it gets down to both men or women in that ring, last 2, that adds a nice little, intriguing dynamic to the overall match itself. I like that. Now, we don't know if this match stipulation is going to make it to television. It could provide an interesting finish to Battle Royals in the upcoming, year, if WWE wants to do that. So I like that. I'm totally for that. That gets a huge thumbs up. But Apollo Crews won this Battle Royal, and he's earning a future IC title shot. So it looks like Dean Ambrose's new opponent, or the next opponent, rather, for the IC title is going to be Apollo Crews. So we'll see what happens with that. Mauro Ranallo. Yes, the same Mauro Ranallo that was given the CBS Commentator of the Year. He's my Commentator of the Year as well. I mean, just in general, he's the best commentator that WWE has. Works for NXT, as you guys know. He was involved in a terrible car accident days before Christmas Mauro Ranallo is the voice to me of WWE and is the voice of MMA and boxing all over the world. He was involved in a terrible car accident on, I don't know when it was, the 23rd or 22nd of December. He seems to be okay. He's shaken up a bit. Mauro was able to post pictures of his totaled car along with a message detailing what happened. He says, and I quote on Twitter, "An angel was looking over me the night of the accident. A car lost control and smashed into me at full speed. Happy to report that no one was seriously injured. I'm still in shock. I guess my work here isn't done yet." Hashtag Christmas miracle, man. Thank God he's okay. And I wish Mauro the best in his recovery from such a serious and scary incident. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this. This is fucked up in every sense of the word. WWE is trying to shut down a popular YouTube series. So, for the fucking idiots who tell me they ain't watching, oh, they're watching. They're watching me because just a couple of weeks ago, when Monday Night Raw had that worst Raw of all time, and everybody came out of the woodwork to shit on the show, WWE shut my video down for at least 15 minutes and blocked that motherfucker worldwide. They blocked it worldwide. Claimed by WWE. I wonder why. Citing audio-visual content. I don't know what the fucking visual content is, but I know that I play some of their clips with me being screen captioned on the video. I play some of the fucking clips from the YouTube channel. I don't show any WWE film or highlights. I'm not like Luigi, who goes on here and shows you fucking screenshots of the actual show and does reactions over it, which begs me to question how people like that get away with it. Yet they're okay. Yet I gotta have the inconvenience of having my fucking video shut down on YouTube for 15 minutes. Yeah, but they're not watching though, right? Claimed by WWE. So someone in their social media department seen this, watched the video, seen something that I obviously said that they didn't agree with, and shut it down, citing false claim. WWE's trying to shut down Botchamania, and has seemingly done so. So, Matthew of Botchamania, shut down. Botchamania has been around for years and is loved by the entire internet wrestling community. Matthew works hard on all those videos he compiles, as many obscure and well-known pro wrestling botches happen. Needless to say, WWE-owned property provides him with an endless amount of content. For quite a while, Botchamania has needed to display their videos on YouTube with an action in a smaller screen to distract the censors that detect copyright. You see a ton of video and a ton of creators on YouTube who try and get away with showing legit events, and you see some big animation taking up most of the screen, and then a little box in the right corner, bottom right corner, showing the actual event. So the YouTube censors don't pick up on it. So he's been doing that, and he's been okay. He's been safe from getting taken down outright. WWE then started targeting the botch-filled videos on other platforms as well, like Vidmeo or what's the other one? I can't remember them right now. But all the video platforms. He tried to go there and do it there, citing maybe a safer way, so WWE doesn't watch that, or maybe WWE doesn't watch those other platforms. They just watch YouTube because it's the biggest one. So, to rub salt in the wound by taking him down, WWE now has released the first full episode of Botch Club online for free. Meaning that they came up with their own botch series led by Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows of the club. And they call it the Botch Club. And they watch it on a big screen, and they watch all these botches happen, and they laugh, and they make comments about it. And you can see it now for free on YouTube. They upload it to their YouTube channel right now. You guys can go and watch it. Now, it's interesting to see the parts from Botchamania that they lifted as WWE made Botch Club into their own thing. The sound effects are a little unnecessary, but this is shady on WWE's behalf. This is fucked up, and, I mean, anybody could WWE can shut down anybody they want, to be honest with you. But they really can. I mean, there's freedom of speech. They can't shut down a guy like me. They can't shut down anybody. It's invasion of free speech. Like, I could say whatever the fuck I want on here. Like, you're giving me a product that I'm unhappy with. I could say whatever the fuck I want about your product until you get better. This is what people do. They review movies, they review anime, they review sports and analyze sports. I can analyze WWE, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You can't shut someone like me down. This is a little bit of a sticky situation because he's using WWE content to film and gather his own channel and raise his own stock in the YouTube community and make a living off of it. But you're using intellectual property owned by WWE. So now he had to set up his own website. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what WWE is liable to do here. All I could tell you in this situation is please support the content creators that you find entertaining and that you love to watch on a daily, weekly basis. Support the content creators. There's never been an opportunity now like this. If you enjoy Matthew's work, everybody enjoyed Matthew's work. If you're someone who enjoys his work or enjoys a specific YouTube personality, support them. This is the time to go out and support these little content creators, these smaller content creators, because nobody else is going to do it. They rely on their fan base. You know, if there's ever been an opportunity to support somebody that you love watching on a weekly basis, this is it. Support your content creators. That's all I could say here. You know, when shit happens, support them. This is why people are moving to Patreon. This is why people are moving to or off YouTube, because this is bullshit. Complete bullshit. I feel sorry for him. You know? But that WWE is opening up the Botch Club online, or now filling their YouTube channel with content with botches led by Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, in the same vein that Matthew used to do it. So they're watching. Don't ever tell me that they're not watching. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I'm getting out of here, guys. That is everything I have for you here on part 1 of episode 254. We got about an hour and 40 minutes in. Thank you guys so very much for everything. If you missed any of my previous videos, man, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, I even uploaded a new walkthrough. Doom. We're playing Doom, the remastered version of Doom on PS4, man. Doom 2016, before Doom Eternal is released next spring. Make sure you guys go and watch that. Links will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. Please support Barbershop Window, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code BSHOP20. Harrys.com/script for your free trial shave set. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. And follow me on social media, man. At JD from NY206 on Twitter. Same as Instagram. Please make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. If you guys enjoy my gaming content, I'm on there a couple of days a week. JD from New York. And Patreon. Patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. Please support via the Patreon page and hit that subscribe button down below. Also, hit that bell. Turn on that bell for notifications. And hit that thumbs up, man. Leave me a thumbs up down below for the video here as we continue on and roll on with Off the Script. What I got for you guys on Saturday's episode of Off the Script. Brock Lesnar possibly not factored into WrestleMania plans. I don't know about that, but see what Mike Johnson of PW Insider is saying about Brock Lesnar not being factored into WrestleMania plans. And Vince McMahon is eyeing on pushing a major superstar on SmackDown Live. Who is it in 2019? WWE possibly dropping a huge storyline for Lars Sullivan already. And what is the idea that WWE has for a tag team between Shane McMahon and The Miz? All that plus so much more on Off the Script, 254 Part 2. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll be back on Saturday afternoon with more Off the Script. I'll talk to you guys later.